Welcome to Saturday Morning Retro, Episode 6. Before we start this show, we want to thank all of our wonderful fans who have supported us. And if you want to show support for the Rated G Network, you can find us on Patreon at patreon.com/RatedG4Gamers. You can also find us on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Rated G4Gamers. And finally, please rate and review us on iTunes and Spotify. We appreciate all the love. And one final note, a very big note. Before we start, we have an awesome giveaway going on right now. We are giving away one copy of Cyberpunk 2077 for the system of your choice, PS4, Xbox One, or PC. To enter this contest, you must be following us on YouTube. You must like this video and drop a comment to what you're looking forward to in Cyberpunk 2077 in the comments section. Note that you can enter once per episode up until the launch of this game. And also, this giveaway is open to U.S. residents only. And good luck to all who enter. This is Saturday Morning Retro, a podcast where we dive into our backlog and talk about all things retro. I'm your host, Dave Rotino, and this is my co-host, Dan, It's Spooky Scary, Robinson.
Woo! Woo!
You like that? You like that? Listen, I'm trying to get us.
You gave that dramatic pause. You gave that dramatic pause.
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah, I know. I didn't know what was wrong. I didn't know. I thought maybe you got possessed or something.
I did.
All right. Well, how about this? What's going on? Woo!
I love it. We gotta add some chain sound effects in there too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There you go.
I love this time of year, man.
I love it too. You know what it is? It's spooky. It's spooky and it's pumpkin spice time.
It's spooky and pumpkin spice. Right.
So I carved a pumpkin. We had a bunch of pumpkins. I carved out all of them a couple of weeks ago.
Did you?
Pumpkins are completely gone rotten.
Oh, that's quick.
You're supposed to spray it with like a little bit of bleach and then wipe it down with Vaseline.
Okay.
They're all rotten. And people, it's like, my sister's like, why don't you just throw it out? I said, no, it brings to the ambiance. It's rotten. Right? They look old and like, cause it's going bad. So like, it looked like it has wrinkles and it's like mold or whatever on the inside. It's like, it's perfect. It's Halloween.
That's right.
It's supposed to be fresh. It's not supposed to be fresh. So it looks awesome.
Now, the question is, are you expecting any trick-or-treaters coming by your place? Is that
no.
No? Okay.
They better not ring a doorbell.
Well, do you have a contingency plan if they do come by? You're just gonna like slingshot some Snickers at them?
No, I'm just not. No one's gonna be in the living room. All the lights are gonna be out.
Right.
Nobody's home.
Yeah, man.
Well, you know,
I feel bad for the kids this year. What are they gonna do?
You want to talk about spooky and scary?
I do.
I got a phone call, and the person on the other line just was like, had a delayed pause just like you, and it was like, "Is Daniel home?"
Oh shit!
I was like, "Yeah, who is?" I didn't say yeah. I was like, "Who is this?"
Like, yeah, right.
I was like,
who's calling?
I was like, "Who's calling?" Now, mind you, I had ordered something on Uber Eats. So I thought maybe it was Uber Eats.
Yeah, well, that's
wasn't
that's
Uber
a fair
Eats.
assumption.
He was just like, "Is Daniel home?" And I was like, "Is this a practical joke?" I thought it was you, like calling me a practical joke.
You know, that would be something I would do, but no, it was not me.
So it was a scary voice at first, right? And it turned out it was worse than I thought. It was worse than I thought, Dave.
What was it?
It was my old college calling to check up on alumni to ask us for money.
Oh, they're trying to shake you down.
I know.
Don't buy into it then.
It was totally scary. I was freaked out. I didn't know what to do. My palms were shaking.
You were clutching your checkbook. You're clutching your checkbook.
I was clutching my wallet. I was like, no.
You were looking at your bank account crying. No.
I was like, no. Why are you calling? Why are you calling me? Why are you calling me so late? 7 o'clock. They called me at 7 o'clock.
Yeah, man. You know. Listen, colleges need money 24/7, all right? They got to stay open.
And I said, why did he pause by saying, "Is Daniel home?" He sounded just like that. No exaggeration. I was like, you okay, buddy?
That's crazy. That's crazy.
I was like, dude, I'm at work. I can't talk right now.
So how much did you give him?
I'm at work.
How much did you give him?
I gave him a piece of my mind. It's worth millions.
Oh, it's funny.
I said, dude, I'm at work. I can't talk right now. Click.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Yeah. No, well, listen. I like how he started with, I just want to make, we're making sure the alumni are okay.
Uh-huh.
Like, well,
and then, hey, if you could donate some money.
Yeah, pretty much. I was like, no, I'm good. Thanks. Bye.
Yeah. That's funny.
It was scarier. I wish it was like Scream or Freddy Krueger on the other line. It was
Jesus.
But anyway, you have any Halloween plans?
I got Halloween plans, Dan.
Yeah.
I was on the fence whether I was going to be in costume or not, and don't worry, I'm going to be in costume this year. But, and I'll tell the fans, I'll tell everybody, I'm not going as a video game character, which would be a good guess because 9 times out of 10, I'm going as a video game character. Kratos,
Okay.
Raz, Ryu, Brian Fury, Heihachi Mishima. The list goes on.
One day I want you to go as Goku.
I would totally do Goku. I'd probably have to work on the upper body a little bit because he's like,
All right.
he's
All
pretty
right,
stacked.
Then do Piccolo. I want you to do Piccolo. Yeah, like paint yourself green.
Oh my God, no! I hate full body paint is the worst, Dan. It's bad news because it doesn't stick. No matter what you do, it's gonna rub off, and by the end of the night, you're gonna be a tan pasty mess with little blotches of green. So you gotta be very careful.
Sounds like a good time for you.
Gotta be very careful. I'd rather do Goku. I could totally do like Super Saiyan Goku, like Super Saiyan 4 Goku, right?
Oh yeah, you'll have like a tail and sort of like fur.
Wait, what? I don't want to be Son Goku.
No, you could be because Super Saiyan 3 was when he had like the long golden hair.
Oh yeah, no, that.
And Super Saiyan 4 when he was like more gorilla-like.
Oh no! I don't want to go as the gorilla.
That was GT. That was
okay.
GT.
Okay. No.
You said Super Saiyan 4.
I didn't realize. I thought it was just higher and higher yellow hair.
No, that's not how that works.
But
they started changing colors after a while.
So this year I'm taking a little bit of a divergent away from the video game characters. Although the person I'm going as has been in at least one video game, Omicron, the Nomad Soul. So I'm going as David Bowie, all right? Good old kind of Ziggy Stardust. I'm going as the man, the myth, the legends, David Bowie. As like the Ziggy Stardust with like the big red hair and the spacesuit and the go-go boots and the face makeup, all right? The rest of his body is kind of like not covered. See, I see you making a face right now, Dan.
No, I'm good. I'm okay.
Listen. I understand he's not your kind of music, but remember Andre 3000. All right, he was a very flamboyant dresser. All right, and that man made amazing music, and he made it work.
I'm just saying, you've definitely outdid yourself on this costume.
Hey, you haven't even seen it yet, man. Trust me, I'm going to send you pictures in the day.
Creative. Very creative.
Hey,
okay.
Man,
So, you know what I'm going as?
Absolutely nothing?
No. Listen, this one I'm going to do.
You do have a costume. Okay.
This
one
I'm
lay it down.
I do.
Okay. I think there's going to be a joke here, but I'm
No joke.
I'm prepared.
This is what I'm going to be, okay? So, I'm bald, right? So, it's a little spiky right now. I need a fresh shave.
Yeah, shave it,
okay?
Yeah.
Fresh shave.
Takes a lot of work.
I'm going to put a tight sweater on. I'm going to get to Terramana Tequila, and I'm going to be The Rock's little brother. That's what I'm going to be.
You're going to be Pebble?
I'm going to be...
You're going to be Stone.
I'll be Boulder.
Boulder? I don't know about that. I think you're going to need to do some more push-ups.
I'm The Rock's little brother. Okay, that's what I'm going to be. All right, I already got the beard.
I could kind of see it. I could kind of see it. I could kind of see it.
I'm gonna give you the eyebrow.
There you go. All right.
I got to raise the one eyebrow.
Mm-hmm. And then like the people's elbow, right? You got to give them the people's elbow.
All right. Well, I'm not doing this for the people. This is the street's elbow right here. This is the street's elbow.
There you go.
All right.
Oh, that's funny. I could see it.
So look, Dave, we have a great show this month, right? We're going to be talking about A Nightmare on Elm Street for the NES. We're also going to be talking about Demon's Crest for the Super NES. But let's start off, as we start off every Saturday morning retro show, this time in gaming history. All right. And this is a big month. October 18th, October 1985. Okay.
That sounds very familiar, Dan.
I was only 3 years old. You were probably in college.
There you go. Continuing the joke. I love it.
But the NES was actually released officially in, New York and LA. There's like the initial North American launch.
I knew that date was very familiar.
So only if we can get a time machine, go back in time, and go to FAO Schwartz. Yeah, we can get the original NES with Rob the Robot. Now, you would say, why is this really that important or monumental? How about this? We talked about on a regular show, maybe a couple of months ago, 6 months ago maybe, that the NES, the Super Mario Brothers original game, sealed with the Nintendo's original sticker seal, went for $100,000.
It did.
Right? It was like, right? Yeah, $100,000.
Yep.
That was the original games they sold back in October 18th, 1985, 35 years ago.
Yep. One of like the original 3 or 5 games that they had. I forget how many they had out at the time.
So
it wasn't a lot, but yeah, man. I
got this. I got the NES. I famously told the story. I got the NES like in 1988, either 88 or 87. I think it was 88. I was only like 6 years old, and I woke up to my father playing Duck Hunt, and it was just like, oh wow. And he's like, yeah. Just wait. I'm trying to kill these ducks. And I was like, when can I play? and he kept playing. He didn't stop.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. So I got the NES a little bit later. Yeah. Well, I got mine like a year before you did. So I got mine in 87. I got the bare bones basic one with just Mario. I didn't get the Zapper. I didn't get the Rob the Robot. I didn't get the triple pack of the 3 games. I just had Mario Brothers. And then they got me, and this is very monumental, they got me the Legend of Zelda with like the gold cart and all that.
Wow. The OG one. Played it for the first time last month.
Oh, and how good is that game?
It's pretty good. I mean, it's hard. Right. Definitely they've built upon that and made it better. The first one just was
it's a little obtuse.
Too hard for no reason. Yeah,
it's a little obtuse. The hints suffer from the translation.
Poor translation.
Yeah, very very poor translation. But yeah, man, it was like crazy. And like the next year, I remember because my parents got me Mario 2, and they hid it in the other room. It wasn't underneath the Christmas tree. They said, I think we saw Santa put something in the other room, and I run over to the other room as like one of the last gifts, and it was a Nintendo shaped box. I'm like, I opened it up. It was Mario 2. I was very happy.
Well, I told you, my parents, what they would do is, because I would be shaking the presents, imagining what it is, and they finally had to tell me stop. They said, listen, this is what we're going to do.
All right.
We'll give you one gift at the beginning of the month of December, just to have
the whole deal.
Shut up. And it was always a video game. So I never actually opened video games for Christmas.
On the day.
I got it earlier in the month to shut me up until Christmas. So that's that. I think I'm gonna do that with my kids if I have kids. That's what I'm gonna do, just to shut them up. Yeah, well, right. You give them something that they're gonna use over and over and over again, just to tide you over until Christmas. Right.
That's like a good 25 days of like, I can't wait till Christmas.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, they didn't wait till December 1st. I'm just saying that first week of December they would give it to me. All right. So, Dave, you get any good pickups this month? Because I know I got a lot. I just want to flip through like the crap load of pickups I got. I'm actually almost up to 4,000. Oh. I'm at 3,750 right now.
Well, since you got so many, do you want to go first?
Sure.
All right.
I want. So I got Need for Speed Shift. I got the demo for the PSP.
Oh,
Gangs
nice.
of London for the PSP too. I've never even played that game.
Right. That was a PSP PS2 exclusive, right?
I don't know if it was an exclusive.
I think so. I
didn't even know it existed, to be honest.
Right. I remember the PS2 version was kind of cool. It was like a like an English Grand Theft Auto.
Really? Oh, okay. Well, now I look forward to playing it one day.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you'd enjoy it.
I got Golden Axe Beast Rider for the 360, which is a terrible
the
game,
reboot.
I heard.
Yeah.
That was terrible.
They had a very different prototype in mind, I think, and then it just kind of went off the rails. Sega was looking for something different.
Rainbow Six Vegas for the PS3.
Nice.
Rainbow Six End War for the PS3. Also that.
Mm-hmm.
I got Headhunter for the PS2 and Headhunter Redemption for the OG Xbox. No, it's like a first-person shooter or a third-person shooter. Don't know much about the game. I did see it in a thrift shop. I guess, obviously, whoever, they must have had both games and gave it in.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? I'll pick it up. The box was a little messed up, but I got it for a good price.
Yeah, all right.
I got Landstalker for the Genesis.
Fantastic game.
I got a game I never heard of, Body Count, for the Xbox 360.
Is that the Ice-T game?
I think that's
Ice-T's Body Count. Come on.
I got Power Blade for the NES. Now,
ooh.
Yes, I know. It's up there in price,
and I'm a little jealous. Power Blade is, and it's a great game too. It's one of those games that meets the high price, high quality that you don't always get. Right? Sometimes they're just rare because they're rare, and that's why they're so high in value, not because they're necessarily good. Wow. Okay.
I got the big ass Blockbuster sticker on it. I can't take it off. I can't take it off.
That's tough. You got to really get in there with like the little surgical tools. And
no, it has a bunch of stickers on it. I think it was everywhere. It was everywhere.
Tough.
It was at one point. This game, only if this game can talk to me, right? It'll tell me the story of the Funko lands it's been at and the Blockbusters, because it has a Blockbuster label on it. It has a Funko Land label on it.
No!
It's all screwed up. Like, it's just all sticky mess.
You can get pretty aggressive with the plastic itself, but if it goes over the label, yeah, that's where it gets a little tough.
I got Star Wars Battle of Naboo for the N64.
Nice.
I thought people were kind of about that game, right?
I mean,
or is it?
I think it's okay. It's not anything like crazy. It was the new generation of Star Wars stuff, so some of it was good, some of it was like okay. I think Naboo falls into the okay category, but
I got Chester Cheetah Wild Wild Quest for the Genesis complete.
Oh boy.
I think that was a second Chester Cheetah game, and I have both for the Genesis.
Complete. Surprisingly, there was more than one. Surprisingly, there was one. I should revise my statement.
I got NBA Live 98 for PS1. I just love it. These old NBA games. Michael Jordan never gave his likeness, so it was always just like player one.
Yeah,
when you played the Bulls,
he wasn't even in NBA Jam.
No, it was just
it was Pippen.
Well,
Pippen and Stockton, right? I think
Stockton was for the Jazz. He played for the Utah Jazz. Right. Yeah, it could have been Pippen and Rodman, Pippen and Horace Grant.
I think Rodman was in. I think he was in NBA Jam Tournament Edition. As as a selectable.
But
and maybe
I just love it.
Maybe Tony Kukoc?
Could have been. That's true. Yeah. Oh, Luke Longley. Oh no, I think it was like Pippen, Longley, and like Kukoc. You can sub in.
Yeah.
But I found it funny. Like, you play all these like actual basketball simulating games, and it's like no one ever has Michael Jordan. This is Michael, and he had his own game, which was terrible because it wasn't even a basketball game.
Oh, Michael Jordan in the Windy City.
Yeah, it was terrible. It was terrible.
Yeah, I'm surprised they even were able to make a game. I mean,
I think no, there was another like Michael Jordan versus like Larry Bird or something like that for the NES. It was
Jordan versus Bird, which was but it did have a slam dunk contest, which was because you could do the windmill jam and the Statue of Liberty.
I have Treasures of the Deep for the PS1, which I think is a hidden gem. When you sort of play like in a submarine, and Tank for the PS1.
I never heard of it.
That makes two of us. These are early, like first 2 years of the first 3 years of the original PlayStation. Yeah.
Is Tank a long box then, or?
No, not that early. It's not that early. I am on the lookout for Extreme Sports by ESPN. that was a long box PS1 game. I have 2 Extreme and 3 Extreme. I got to get
but not the first
Extreme.
one. Yeah, the first one came out like around the launch of the system. I remember that, like, it was around that time of Destruction Derby and all those other long box games, the original Tekken. Yeah. All right.
So,
cool.
And just to finish this off, I only go to the office once a week.
Right.
And when I'm in the city, I'm at the office. I usually hit up this big thrift shop. It's like the Walmart of thrift shops, right? Because it's like the Salvation Army. You could donate, and I think they buy stuff too. Like obviously, like Funko Land. You know, it's like it's worth $50, and they'll give you $2
they give you $5
for it,
or $2
or something like that. Yeah. So they have a lot of books, a lot of games, record players, but they have video games. And CDs and stuff. But they have, and it's much cleaner than like a Salvation Army. At least Salvation Army's in New York.
They can be a little grimy.
Yeah, definitely. So usually they have Japanese. They have a Japanese section with Japanese video games too, which I think is great.
Oh.
And I don't know where they get their prices from, but sometimes you'll find some hidden gems in there where they priced. I don't think they priced it right, which is great for me. Like I got the Lemmings game complete.
Yep.
A little messed up, the label, a little water damage, whoever had it, but for $14, not bad, because it's usually $100. So I got Expendables from for the Dreamcast. This came out for the OG PlayStation and the Dreamcast. You would think this was a twin stick shooter,
right?
It should be a twin stick shooter, but even if you have the DualShock 1, can't use the thumbsticks.
Wow, this was it probably came out. Did it come out before the DualShock controller?
I don't know, but I don't remember if it came out before the DualShock controller, but I just know the PlayStation version. It does. The PlayStation version, you can't use the thumbsticks. So,
wow, interesting.
So
do they use the shoulder buttons for strafing? Is that how that works?
Yes. So the Dreamcast version is where it's at. Just graphically, it's a little bit better.
Of course.
So, but if the PlayStation version you do as a twin sticks with the thumbsticks, that would have been a better version. But I'm glad I got it for the Dreamcast.
All right. Nice.
I got Poke Park, Pikachu's Big Adventure, right? Nice. The first one, there were 2. I got to tell you, this looks more like a game I would play, right? Because you play as Pikachu and you get to do little adventures and slight platforming and stuff. I'm looking forward to playing that.
You said Poke Park, right? That's the game?
It's called Poke Park.
Never heard of it.
It's Poke Park, Pikachu's Adventure, and they have a Poke Park 2
as well. I got to be on the lookout for this.
Which is more expensive. And lastly, I got Alice in Wonderland for the Wii.
Oh, that Alice in Wonderland. Oof.
Yes.
Well, I remember, what was it on the... You said you were playing Alice Madness Returns, right?
Yes.
That is the good game. That and the original Alice.
The original Alice, PC only.
But both of those games, very good. Alice in Wonderland on the Wii, based off the Tim Burton movie, not so much.
No, you're right. But for $1.99, why not?
You got to get it.
Why not?
I'm not blaming you on the purchase. Not blaming you.
All right. So that's pretty much a little snippet of. I got more, but I don't want to go through each and every one of them. I don't want to. For every expendable, there's a
There's a Poke Park.
There's a Poke
Park. An Alice in Wonderland. There's an Alice in Wonderland.
The Alice in Wonderland. Yes.
Yeah, an Alice in Wonderland. Okay, I get it.
Right.
I get it.
So what about you? Get any good pickups this month?
I did. I got a pinball for the NES.
Okay.
Which was great. I haven't necessarily talked about. My new speaker purchase, which I'm going to save for the next regular Rated G episode. But I put up a thing on Instagram. I said, need a way to test out these speakers, and I put the inbox copy of Pinball next to it. I said, this is it. This is the game, right? Which by no means is Pinball a game to test out your speakers, but I picked it up. I got it for a real good price, complete in box with the manual and everything. So happy about that. I got from Limited Run finally the Command and Conquer Remastered on PC. I think I already mentioned that in the regular show, but It is a throwback classic. It's a RTS game from the mid to late 90s. Two of them, in fact, Command & Conquer and Command & Conquer Red Alert. So I got the remaster for that. I got Dot Hack Infection for the PS2. It's a MMO, but not an MMO. So
wait.
It makes it like an MMO, like you have to log in and all that.
You're like, it's a platformer? But it's not a platformer.
Well, it says it's an MMO because it asks you to log in and make an account and like log into the network. But it's still just a single player adventure.
It's like Dave. Why do you think it's a It's like, why is it not a platformer? Because you don't jump anywhere. Then why did you think it's a platformer in the first place?
They make it out to be an MMO, but it's not. Okay. Yeah, they kind of fake you into thinking you have to log in and do all that, but they just like wrap it around the game.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. SimCity 3000 for the PC. It's a classic. And Guitar Hero 3 sealed, which I'm never going to open because I have 1 million copies of that for other systems already.
Yes. So I'm never gonna play mine. Ones that.
Yeah. Well,
I don't have. Well, first of all, I don't have any equipment. So.
Oh, you don't? Oh, wow.
No.
I'm looking at my guitar graveyard over here. And
I gotta get one of those guitars.
I got what you borrowing. Jeez.
I gotta get a guitar.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So that's
Dave,
just a small set. Yeah.
Is this part of the show? It's one of my favorite parts of the show. Okay. And it's the triple R segments where we go to remaster, remake, or recycle a game. Right. So I'm gonna go first because this game is dear to my heart, and we're sticking with the theme of NES and Nintendo. Original Nintendo. And I remember this is one of the, I didn't have that many games growing up as a kid. So, I maybe had like 10, 15 NES games all together when it was all said and done. Right? Sure. And one of the games I had that is very dear to my heart is Section Z. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
I loved this game growing up. This game, it came out in like 1985. It was a Capcom game. It was sort of like a one of the first shmups I ever played.
Right.
Remember, I was super young in the 80s, so I didn't go to arcade. I didn't go to arcade until the 90s, where I think the first game I played in arcade was probably Street Fighter 2.
Oh, wow.
Or Mortal Kombat. So
Right.
This was the first shoot 'em up I ever played, and it was unique because, you weren't a ship or anything. You were a guy in a jetpack.
That's right.
You got power-ups, when you went through the level. It was, straight side scroller horizontal, and then you go, and to get to the next level, you go, either you go down or up vertically. All right. So
you could like choose which direction you wanted to go in?
In some cases, yeah, you can either go up or down.
Oh, no way. That's awesome. I didn't know it had that.
I never beat this game because it was hard as shit.
Well,
I'll tell you that.
It should be. If it comes from the arcade, it's probably going to be super tough because they want to eat your quarters.
So I don't want them. I don't want to recycle the idea. Okay. Because I don't even know if you could recycle the idea just because I don't even know if there was a story to this. I want to remaster. Just remaster this game for the Switch. It'd be perfect on the Switch. Right. Just on the go. You on the Switch, a good shoot 'em up, a good shmup that's horizontal, not vertical. Right. I hold this dear in my heart, and maybe one day we can get a sequel to this game. And
Capcom still owns the rights. I'm assuming they do.
Yeah. I don't even know if they made a sequel to this game. Maybe they could have made a sequel to this game and just never called it by a different name. You know how
like
they
a spiritual,
usually do those things.
Yeah. It's like a shooter in that vein, maybe with the same hero, but it's not called Section Z. Yeah.
I want Section Z2. That's what I want.
Z2.
That's what I really want. But
Section
I'll
X
settle.
Or Section Y.
Section Y. No, Section Z1.
Section Z1.
I don't know. But I know I want to remaster this game.
You want to remaster this game. All right.
Yes, I want it on the Switch. So what about you? What's your triple R this month?
Oh, my game, Dad. It's from your favorite company, Sony. Sony ImageSoft, to be exact. It was a subsidiary of Sony, but it was still Sony, because back when they were making games for Nintendo and they didn't have their own system out, they put out a bunch of games. And one of those games that they put out is Solstice for the NES, and it did have 2 sequels: Air Supply on the Game Boy and Equinox on the Super Nintendo. Air Supply was
Equinox. I know Equinox. I didn't know I didn't know that there was a sequel to this.
Yeah, so Solstice is like kind of like a high fantasy type setting. Air Supply is like a space age one, and Equinox is I think a little bit like maybe like Indian, like Far East type setting a little bit, but they all essentially play the same. It's a 3/4 isometric view, and you have to, in Solstice at least, you have to pick up all these parts of the staff to build the staff of Demios or something, I think, and then you get to fight like the big bad boss. And it's a giant maze with it goes vertical too, so you can like fall down pits, and you can get like way to the bottom and then have to find your way back up and all that. It's I love it. I love it. I have a lot of nostalgia for it, but it is a very obtuse game. You don't really know like where to go. You kind of have to like feel things out. So I want to recycle the concept and turn it into something new. It doesn't need to be drastically different, but it does need to be improved upon. All right. So I want like a 3/4 view with kind of like modern day graphics and all that, you know, a nice consistent art style where you have to go around and like solve puzzles and pick up pieces to some stuff. You know, it's the general bit of it, you know, and just kind of build on that and give me like a new game out of it, right? Let like I don't know, like what like Way Forward put the game out, right? And it can be the spiritual successor to Solstice, and I would be very happy.
All platforms?
Sure, yeah, sure. I mean, I love okay, put it on the Switch because I can play it on the go, but sure, yeah, you know, put it out for everything. PC, Steam, all that. Like,
well, how about this? So they put it on the Switch, so you can play it on the go. You can play it on the go. You put it on an Xbox, they have like, you know, 4K resolution, 60 frames per second.
Sure.
And you put it on the PlayStation.
Yeah.
120. And you put it in the PlayStation, you have VR support, and you play it in VR.
Oh my God. A Solstice-style game in VR? Yep.
Solstice VR. There we go. It's a Sony. You said it was Sony, right? So Solstice VR. There you go. It'll be on the PS5 next year.
Oh my God. That'd be crazy.
So, all right. Why don't we take a break? And when we come back, we'll get in to our retro backlog. And we're back. All right. Let's get into our backlog, Dave. I'm going to go first. Since it's Halloween, since the show's coming out on Halloween, I decided to pick A Nightmare on Elm Street. Okay.
Oh. Okay.
Right? This came out October 1990. It was published by LGN, but made by our favorite guys at Rare. Okay. This is before Donkey Kong. This was before GoldenEye. This is the early days of Rare.
It may have been before Battletoads, possibly.
I don't remember what Battletoads came out.
Battletoads was 1990. I don't know.
This game came out in 1990. This came out in October 1990. So
right around that time, yeah.
Right around the time. This is in the catalog. They made A Nightmare on Elm Street. It's a platformer. It only came out for the NES. This particular game only came out for the NES. There was another Nightmare on Elm Street that came out for PC and the Commodore 64. That was a totally different game.
Oh, yeah.
So I played this on the Retron 5 and the AVS. So this game, when it first came out, wasn't a commercial success because a lot of people, a lot of stores didn't sell it. They wouldn't carry it. Because
it's based off a rated R movie, right?
It's based off a rated R movie for video games, which back in those days, video games are only for children, right? That was they perceived they were only for kids.
Sure, so, they were partially right at that time, yeah.
And when this game came out, the fifth installment, Nightmare on Elm Street 5 was out.
5 was what, like the Dream Warriors, maybe, or the Dream Child?
Yeah, it was like Freddy Gives Birth or something. I don't know. It was.
I don't think it was called Freddy Gives Birth.
It was Freddy Gives.
I know for a fact it's not called Freddy Gives Birth. But wow,
Nightmare.
I think it may have been the Dream Child.
Okay. The picture. Listen, the box art for
it's him and the baby in the little baby
baby.
bassinet.
Yeah,
I know. I think it's called the Dream Child.
It's like Freddy gives birth or something. Same thing. It's the same thing.
I'm sorry. Oh, Dan, you made my month. Oh,
same thing. It's the same thing. You know, listen.
I love it.
Popping out babies in his dreams. There you go. It's a dream. You can do whatever you want. It's a dream.
It's true.
So the story. So there really isn't any story. Well, if you want to know the story, the game doesn't give you the story of the game. Okay. So you have to. Back in these days, you had to actually read the manual. And it was,
yes.
All right. So I didn't really have the manual, so I had to look it up. And it's basically Freddy's back, and kids are dropping one by one, and people, the kids know it's Freddy, and they have to go burn his bones. And the manual, funny enough, the manual specifically says you have to get his bones and burn them in the school furnace, in the high school furnace.
That's right. Yeah.
Why does the high school have a furnace?
Because it's old-fashioned. I don't know.
My high school didn't have a furnace.
Most high schools don't have a furnace. But
with a furnace.
It's a way of getting heat. If you have a very old school. I don't know.
What kind of school is this? Where the hell is Nightmare on Elm Street shot? Why do schools have furnaces?
Somewhere in middle America.
It's a high school and a funeral home at the same time?
Yeah.
I don't know. So the story, so it's a typical story. It's, again, mostly a platformer. I think the one thing that I was excited for when I wanted to play, when I did a little bit of research before I played the game, was the fact that it was a little bit different. They were going for a different idea, meaning the level design just wasn't straight, a horizontal side scroller, right?
Okay.
Like you get it's a side scroller at first, but you have 3 houses, right? And you can't. They're actually for an NES game. They're randomly generated. Where
shoot.
Not the level isn't randomly generated, but the house you go into, the order of the houses you go into are randomly generated or random.
Huh.
Okay. So if I tell you when I first played the game, I went through the first house, your playthrough, you may have to go in the third house first. It doesn't matter because the levels are the same.
Right.
The levels are the same.
Right.
So that's the part that was super interesting. And you have like a dream meter. And when that dream meter goes down, you actually you get into the dream sequence. So it's like the world shifts, and now it's like you're in a day meter and everything is light, and then you're in a dream sequence. You're in the dream and everything is dark and it looks all dreamy and scary and stuff. And then if you stay in the dream sequence long enough, too long, you'll have to fight Freddy, which was disappointing because he's just like, throwing his claws around, like, and he jumps and throws his claws. There's really nothing to it. You just have to memorize where he stands and jump behind him and keep hitting him. Right. And then you get out of that dream stage. You need to find the radio or the boom box. Yes. Back in those days, we had boom boxes that will wake you up out of the dream state.
That makes sense.
So the concept of that kind of, got me excited to play. The execution, though, was very poor. I will say,
I kind of knew you'd probably be in for a bad time when you said LJN.
Well, yes, LJN was the publisher, though. They usually LJN
I understand.
didn't really make games. They usually had a smaller studio make their games.
Right, but every game they put out was just utter trash. It seems to fall in that same bucket, at least.
So the concept of this game looks pretty cool. Well, I thought it would be pretty cool when I did a little bit of research on this game. I never played this game when I was a kid, and this is not one of the 15 games I ever got.
No, it's probably a good thing. I never had this game either. I did have Friday the 13th, but not the Nintendo one, the Commodore one. But
okay.
Yeah.
Well, I got to say the gameplay, the mechanics of this game, not the worst.
Okay.
But not great. They're not good.
Playable.
It's playable. I mean, it is playable, but it's not great. The jumping, I mean, it is semi-platforming, and it's definitely floaty. I died a bunch of times. I don't think I should have died. I made that jump, right? But the jump is kind of your jumping is kind of floaty, and you're like, oh, come on, I hit that platform, and then you fall to your death for no reason.
Yep.
I wasted lives for no reason.
Yep.
The hit detection, I gotta say, again, not the worst, but that's like saying, hey, I didn't get shot, but I got stabbed, right? So it's not the worst, but it's still bad. It's bad.
Okay, so it's not good, is what you're saying. Okay.
It's not great. It's not the worst hit detection I've played in a game.
So, like, getting punched in the face, maybe, as opposed to getting stabbed? Like, because getting stabbed, like, you get punched in the face, you're probably going to live. There's 90% chance, 99% chance you're going to live. You get stabbed, there's like a 60 to 50% chance. And if you get shot, there's like a 20% chance.
Okay, how about this? I'll split the difference.
Uh-huh.
It's not quite punch in the face. Maybe they punched you in the face with a brick in their hand.
Oh God, I don't think I want to play this game.
The hit detection is terrible.
Fair enough.
And then okay. So when you get to the dream sequence, you can turn into like one of like 3 different people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like you can like as gymnastics guy when he could like jump and he can throw stuff, right? So he has a projectile weapon, right, where you can throw stuff, which is only in the dream sequence. When you get into the dream sequence, the enemies are a little bit tougher and they are scarier. Now, look, the enemies don't make any sense at first because you have zombies and bats and skulls and skeleton. None of these are in actual Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street.
The only thing that's in Nightmare on Elm Street is Freddy. That's essentially it.
But if if this is supposed to be sort of a scary game and you're in a dream, it could be kind of any scary thing that he could throw at you, right? So, okay. And they need to throw enemies at you, right?
Right. You need something to get around. Yeah.
So I get that part. But you need to get the power-ups to get the 3 different people you can play as, like a strongman, energetic, the acrobat where you can jump faster, jump higher, whatever. And you could throw projectile weapons, right?
Right.
The projectile weapon person, like that's great because when you face Freddy or you face any incarnation of Freddy, because they have one where you just have a giant claw that comes at you. It's great to stay away, just throw projectile weapons, but it doesn't go all the way. So it only goes to a certain point. So you do have to get some semi close. You can't just stand in a corner and shoot it, right? So that part I liked. The graphics wise, it honestly does. I was going to say it does sort of give me that same graphical style. So not the color palette, the same graphical style as like Battletoads. So
okay.
It's sort of similar. The graphics are regular 8-bit games. It's fine. The music I think is fantastic. I like the music in the game. Okay. I think that's like the best part of the game is the music, especially when Freddy's coming for you when you're in that dream sequence and you hear that music ramp up.
1, 2. Yeah.
Yeah. So I definitely like that. I gotta be honest, the dumbest thing I hate, the dumbest thing about this is collecting the bones. Okay, I get story preference wise, you have to burn his bones, so you collect his bones to burn it. But some of the bones you can't progress in any level unless you collect all the bones. You have to collect all the bones.
Okay.
Some of the bones blend into the background, blend into the scenery, so you don't even know it's a bone that's in the air. It's like collecting coins, by the way. So it's just floating in the air.
So.
And you're gonna have to learn, and you're gonna have to do some precision platforming to get to certain bones. That as you progress in the levels, the bones get and to be in these weird spots where you gotta like platform to get there. And that's where I say I hit that platform and I died 3 times for no reason to get the stupid bone that's hanging up in the sky or under the staircase.
So I think what you're saying is. It's not the bone collecting, it's the floaty mechanics and the jumping and the placement and the bone sprites that are the issue.
Yes.
Okay.
So this game had a lot of good ideas.
It sounds like it.
I was really, when I first, again, researching the game, I was excited to try and play it. I didn't look at anybody's reviews, by the way. I really just wanted to see a little bit of the gameplay, not a lot. And I wanted to see what was the game about, right? What was I getting myself into? Definitely thought it definitely was excited. Poor execution on this. I got to be honest. If I have to rate it, I would give it a 5 out of 10.
Okay. I'm gonna have to give it a whirl because based on what you said and what the AVGN, the famous AVGN video about it, have said, it intrigues me because I want to end up playing because I think one thing too that you didn't mention was that it had 4-player multi-tap support. Is that right?
It did, but you're not playing all 4 players at once.
Right. Because
and to be fair, I couldn't test it. I couldn't test it out because I don't have a multi-tap.
Yeah, I think like it's one person that plays each time, right? And even if
Why can't you just pass the controller?
Exactly. Even if it's like hit select and then, okay, now I'm playing as Bobby or whatever, you just pass it to your friend and go, all right, your turn. Yeah, I don't know. It was weird. Yeah, I remember seeing that back in the day. So, okay. So my game...
What was your game?
Okay, my game is Demon's Crest for the Super
pick.
Nintendo, right? It came out in Japan October 21st, 1994. Came out in America, North America, November 1st, 1994. It's very uncommon for a game to be that close, right? Because there's localization and, they have to say, hey, is this going to be good for America, this and that. So it was only like a week apart or like a week and a half apart, which is crazy. It was developed in-house by Capcom, published by Capcom, released on the Super Nintendo. It is a action-adventure with some RPG elements. And I'll get into that in a little bit. And I played this on the Switch Online because this game is hella expensive right now, even for like a loose cart. So a little bit of background on this game. It's based off the Red Aramer enemy from Ghosts and Goblins. All right. So if you remember the little red winged demon that kind of flies down and hits you and, super annoying.
He got a spin-off. He got his own game.
He did. So they call him Firebrand. That's his name. He looks just like he did in Ghosts and Goblins, but in this case, it's like the Super Nintendo version. So he's got some more color to him. And you're a gargoyle who's looking for ultimate power. And there's some crests involved that are around the world, and you got to fight some big baddies for them. But none of it matters. You're really just there for the gameplay, right? And, well, to get into the gameplay, it does play a little bit slow. So it's not that the controls are bad, but it is a little bit slow. It's not a very quick and fast-paced game. You can kind of jump and fly. You get a bunch of different abilities for your character, so all of that feels good, right? Shooting the fireballs and climbing and flying, all of that feels good. It's just a little bit slow.
But I think the best thing about it is in the first when you first play the game, you play a boss battle, right?
Yep.
There is the game with a boss battle. That was super unique for the time.
Yeah, you're in this giant coliseum and you fight this dragon that comes busting out of the wall and you're like, holy shit. Yeah. So they start off pretty high. And then even after that, you're in the forest and then you fight a boss after that, and then it's okay, now you're past the introductory stage, right? So you should know how to play the game by now, right? And that's kind of where it gets a little bit wonky, because it's you can kind of choose where you want to go on the levels, right? So you get to an overworld map and you're hovering above, and you can kind of rotate the map around, and you can go to these various towns or these little caves, and it's do I go here? Do I go here? And it's I don't know. You kind of just have to feel it out. So you can drop down into a town and you're all right, I'll look around, see what's there, buy some stuff. That makes sense. But you can go into a level and not realize that you can't get past a part of the level because you don't have a certain ability yet. So it was a lot of trial and error, which was a little bit annoying. I guess that's kind of a knock against it. I don't know if having the manual helps, but I didn't use one, so I wouldn't know.
I would say, yeah. I mean, this is in the Ghost and Goblins family. The naming of all of these games just is weird, right? You got ghouls and ghosts, ghosts and goblins, super ghosts and goblins,
ghouls and ghosts, yeah,
super ghouls and ghosts. Yeah, you got a Gargoyles Quest, Gargoyles Quest 2, and now Demon's Crest.
Yeah.
Right? This is the third one.
They're all over the place.
Oh my God, the naming convention is worse than the Xbox.
Well, then you have Maximo, and Maximo.
Oh, yes, Maximo.
all in that same universe. Yeah, it's weird. But most, if not all, of these games are like really good quality, right? For the most part, I think. The graphics in this game, they are like legit good. I like to call it like third wave Super Nintendo graphics, right? They're not the OG games that came out, right? That were like, ooh, look at all this cool stuff we can do. And they weren't that like second wave. They were like really, I think, like the high point, right? This was when Final Fantasy 3 was coming out, and this game and like Ogre Battle and Chrono Trigger, like they really took the Super Nintendo to like the next level, in my opinion.
But how was the music though? I'm big on the music.
The music was very fitting. There weren't any bangers per se, right? It wasn't like I'm gonna listen to this like on my own time, but they certainly fit the mood. I can say that. They were good. The songs were layered. They were very atmospheric. So good. Yeah. I wouldn't listen to the soundtrack on my own time, but they fit for the game. All right.
Okay.
So like those are like really the high points. The graphics, the sound, and the overall control, I thought were like really solid. And the best part about it is like all of this is like, you can fly around, you can choose your own levels. The controls are pretty tight, graphics and sound are good.
How long can you fly? Can you like fly for a long period of time? Can you just fly past the whole level and get to the end?
It depends on the power up that you have, right?
Okay.
Because they have like there's like RPG progression. So you get like you can up your level or your life. You get little like life balls, and you get different crests, which give you different powers.
You get little life balls. Your balls, your little balls of life balls.
You get some little balls of life. Yeah. That's what they are. That's what they are.
Little balls of life. All right. Okay.
Tiny little balls.
That's what we need in every game. Little balls of life. I just want little balls of life.
Listen, it would make The Legend of Zelda so much better if they were balls instead of hearts.
There you go. How many balls do you have?
Yeah. So you only get, and I think I haven't gotten all of the crests, but I think you only get the flying power with like the fire crest, which is like the first one that you get. Because like the next one you get is like a stone crest, which you can't fly, but you can like head bash things, and you get a different, you get like a ground attack, which like goes along the ground. So you use different things in different situations. I think you can fly indefinitely, but you jump and then you fly, but you can't move up and down. You can only move left and right.
So do you think that's a detriment that you can fly indefinitely, like so you can just fly past a level that's like maybe got tough platforming?
Well, you can only jump so high, and there's always going to be something in your way, more or less. So even if you can get up like pretty high, you're probably going to hit an enemy. You hit an enemy, you're going to fall down. You'll like lose the flying ability. So they work that out. Yeah, it's not like you can just like coast over everything. The levels are kind of designed fairly intelligently, I think. But it's a solid game. It definitely does have some issues because they don't really hold your hand with this game. They kind of just let you go and do what you want to do, and you can easily end up in the wrong spot, right? But you can do things out of order. I've noticed that because I ended up watching some playthroughs a little bit later on, and I was like, oh, they did that before that. And I'm like, well, that's kind of interesting. So some stuff is blocked, so it's a little bit of Metroidvania. You need this crest to get past this thing or whatever. But yeah, I mean, and like I guess that was kind of the like once you like get into it and you're like, all right, I'm in. Like then you kind of start figuring things out and it's okay. But once you like first start playing, it's like all over the place. So it's it's a little bit daunting. It's like, well, I got to figure all this stuff out. It's like, ugh. So I did have to use like a walkthrough once or twice, and then I got like comfortable with it, and I got enough power-ups, and I'm like, all right, I'm good. Now I can like start like getting around.
Well, what was the best thing about the game to you? Like, what would you think is like the thing that got you most excited?
I like the fact that it had like a leveling up, like a power system. So you get all these new crests, you could get new like flasks to hold more like health potions. You can get the aforementioned life balls, which are important for your survival.
You can't do a game without life balls.
You can't do a game without life balls. But no. I like the RPG aspect, bringing that into an action game. That was like the biggest thing that I enjoyed about it. Because you didn't really see that. You didn't see the blending of the genres so much back in the day, right? If it was a beat 'em up, it was a beat 'em up. It wasn't a beat 'em up with RPG components, right? If it was a shooter, it was a shooter. It wouldn't be a shooter with like, whatever, with like adventuring mechanics. It was very much, this is what that game is, right?
Yeah.
And this was kind of Capcom kind of exploring some stuff. And I think they really hit the mark, honestly. I think they really hit the mark. Like, if there was a little more like, okay, you should probably do this and go here, and a little more exposition maybe is the word, a narrative, to be like, and then Firebrand went to this area. And, okay, now I can go here. I think that would really kind of smooth things out a little bit. But yeah, and I guess because we're rating these games, I got to give it a rating, right? And we're doing a 10-point scale now. We've shifted from the Dave scale to a more legitimate scale. I'm gonna give it 8 out of 10. I'm gonna give it 8 out of 10.
Wow.
I knock off a couple of marks because it's a little bit cryptic, and the difficulty is a little tough. Takes a little while to kind of get into it, but it's a solid game. If you find it out there in the wild, pick it up, because that is a rare game and a very expensive game.
I'll definitely have it by the next Saturday morning retro show.
Damn, man on a mission, Dan Robinson over here.
I'm gonna find it for a good price too. Watch.
That's the trick, man. That's the trick. Nice. Well, I think that about does it, right? That's episode 6 of the Saturday Morning Retro podcast in the books. If you guys want to interact with us, and we know that you do, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at Rated G for Gamers. Don't forget that we're giving away 1 copy of Cyberpunk 2077 for the system of your choice, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, or PC. To enter this contest, you must be following us on YouTube. You must like this video and drop a comment on what you're looking forward to in Cyberpunk in the comments section. You can enter once per episode up until the launch of the game. And also, this giveaway is open to U.S. residents only. So good luck to all who enter. And finally, we are part of the Gaming Podcast Alliance. Check out all of the fine podcasts featured on there at gamingpodcastalliance.com if you're looking for more gaming goodness. So, please listen, like, rate, review, and subscribe. And as always,
keep gaming.